Hello everybody and welcome to another CP Show Tunes tutorial. Now today what we're going to be covering is how to set up our player character to pretty much do this right here. Okay, so it's going to be like an FPS but RPG style. Similar to how Skyrim is, except of course we're not going to be just using our hands, we're also going to be using our body as well. Okay, so let's go and get into this. Now, in a previous tutorial, I showed you guys how to set up the uh, camera onto our character Bone and all, but we're going to go and cover that again just in case uh, people didn't really figure it out because there were some errors that popped up, and of course, I'm going to just show you guys in depth so we have it easier. So the first thing that you want to do, of course, is attach your camera to the head of your character or to the head of the bones. Now make sure that it is attached like right close enough to where it is not going to interfere. So let me go and drag this back a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys a little something to where this is what you don't want it to do. So if you notice, I can see the top of my head, right? That does not look pretty. Let me go and push maximize off so we can actually do live testing right now. So if I go over to the scene and let's go and go over to, I gotta first pull my head down a little bit because I'm like facing up. Okay. So if I go over to my camera and say for instance we adjust this, uh, there we go. So we're going to go and adjust this. You don't want it to be to where you can see above your character. So you want it to be right above your character's head. Now think about it like this. If I was inside my character's head, right, so where the eyes would be, and I go over to the game mode, as you can see, we see this really bad glitching in front of there, and that's not what we want. So what I would advise doing is setting this right above your character's head. So grab your camera and we're going to simply drag it right above your character. Okay, now you don't want it too high, you just want it high enough to where it's not interfering with the mesh itself. So it's sort of like this right here. Okay, now since we got the position of our camera set up properly, we're going to go ahead and get into our actual script. Now, here's a player right here, and just so you guys know how to actually make your character individually a new character and all. Uh, this is something that I actually have figured out a long while ago, and it was very difficult to actually come up with. But to get this just right, what you want to do is head over to your imported character, and you're going to go over to the material color, and that's where you could simply just adjust the coloring to be whatever you want it to be. So if you want like some sort of creepy warrior, let's go like that. If you want to add your own texture to this, then of course you're going to have to actually uh, create your own file for your diffuse material, or simply just copy the material right here and simply paint over it. It just depends on what you want to do. Okay, so had to cover that because somebody asked to have that covered. Okay, anyway, so we're going to talk about this right here. Now, this is just a normal player. It's just the imported model. I didn't add it on the empty game object or nothing like that. It's just the actual imported model. On this imported model, what you want to do is, of course, have your animator set up. Our animator is very, very simple. It just has like a run, an idle, and then like an attack and slide, right? Now I'm not going to get into what these do because that's sort of a secret. But anyway, so we also have our capsule collider. This just allows us to stand up. And of course we have a rigid body. We froze the rotation values so we're not, you know, falling over. We set our mask to about 5. I had to do that because of some of the testing issues that I had, but yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go get into the script right here. It's a very long script, but it's worth it. Okay, so we're gonna head over into our script right here, and let's go ahead and get into depths. So the first thing we have here at the very top is an animator called anim. Just like in any form of character creation, you want to have a animator for your character. Next, we're going to make a public float. One's called health, health max, current reset time, set reset time. You don't need to really worry about these. These are just for the attack. So yeah. And same thing for this public bull. This is just for an attacking bull. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be pulling is a rigid body. We're going to call it RB. And we need to find a public transform, and it will be called our neck bone. So this is the bone we're going to be moving whenever we are adjusting our character's head. Think of it like whenever we're rotating our camera and all, we want our head to actually be moving along with it instead of just our player camera. Okay, so underneath camera, we're going to say public transform player camera. So we're going to find our camera. Then we're going to say private float, and we're going to call mouse X, mouse Y, and mouse Y position, which is equal to 1.5. That I don't think we really need, but just in case, just put it there. I also have a public float called mouse sensitivity, and it's equal to 3. You guys can adjust that to whatever you want it to be. I think I did already adjust it inside of the actual game right over here. Nope, I didn't adjust it. Okay. Alright, so underneath void start, we're going to simply get the component for the animator. We're going to set health is equal to health max. We're going to, like I said, you don't really need that, but if you want to put it there, we're going to say is attacking is equal to false. And we're going to grab our rigid body, which is equal to get component rigid body. So we're going to be getting that again. Okay, so now we're going to go over here to void update. Now, void update, we're going to simply find this position right here. Now, if you don't know what root position is, it's pretty much allowing our objects to rotate with our character. So let me go ahead and press play. And let's go ahead and do, ooh, we got that right there. We don't want that. So anyways, root position allows us to be able to have our character actually rotate with our game object whenever it does this animation. Before I do that, I'm going to adjust my camera. I do not like that camera being there. That does not look good. Okay, so camera. Let's go and drag that forward a little bit. And play. Make sure that it all looks good. Okay, perfect. So yeah, root motion allows you to actually adjust with your game object. So to set up root motion, it's very simple. All you need to do is go to your character here. And actually, it's not your character. It's actually over here. I believe here. No, it's not there. Let me see. I know it's, oh, right here. So it's underneath your animator tab, and it's set as apply root motion. So whichever object has the animation on it, all you need to do is simply apply root motion. Now keep in mind that with root motion, you could be all over the place if you do not do it right. So say for instance, if you're applying root motion for rotation or transform position, it can get really messy, so just make sure that you keep an eye on that whenever you're messing with root motion. Okay, so back over here. Underneath the void update, the first thing that we put is transform.position is equal to anim.root_position. So we're pretty much just setting this position is equal to the new position from the animation. Now this is another part of the attacking and all. You don't need to put that if you don't want to. Um, but if you do, just put that there. Now we have this set up to where if we're not attacking, then this is going to happen. So this is the script that we're actually going to be doing. So let's go ahead and set up our variable. So this is just a normal variable setup for our movement system, which is the var z and the var x, which is equal to vertical and horizontal. Multiply it by our speed, which is a 0.1. You could set up the speed variable up there at the top with public floats if you want to. I really didn't feel like doing that, so yeah. Alright, with our transform.translate, we're just simply going to put x in the x value, 0 in the y value, z in the z value. So for our animation setup, we simply said if input.getAxis vertical is less than 0, or that's what this sign right here is equal to. It's like right underneath the backspace if you hold down shift. And then you say input.getAxis vertical is greater than 0. And then we're going to say the action that's going to happen is idle is going to be equal to false. Now, after that, we're going to be setting up an else statement that says anim.setBool is idle is equal to true. So we're going to be making is idle equal to true if this is greater than that. So basically what we're putting out is if we're not moving, then is idle is going to be active. So very simple. So this is all a lot of the attacking and defending stuff. I'll go over to the attacking if you guys want to do it. So you have your attacking values set up right there, and yeah. So I'm going to roll down, get out of that. Now we'll go ahead and cover how you do the attack. So just like any form of attack button, if you say if input.get key and then you press a certain key, then we're just simply going to activate the attack, set the reset time. Then we're also going to do transform.localPosition, anim.rootPosition. We're also going to say RB, which is rigid body, add force at position. We're going to add a vector 3 forward, multiplied by 50, transform.position, force mode dot impulse. You don't even need all that stuff if you want to, but yeah. So we're going to set is attacking is equal to true. And I believe the reset value, oh yeah, that is the reset value right there. So whenever you finished attacking, it's going to reset for you. So yeah. Like I said, we're not really covering that inside this tutorial and all. We're just covering the movement system. Okay, so underneath the actual camera, we're going to put else. So outside of the attacking method, which if you don't have the attacking method, don't worry about it. You're just going to need this right here. So it says mouse x plus equals input.getAxis mouse x. Multiply that by mouse sensitivity. So a typical camera look motion and all. And we're going to do the same thing, mouse y negative equals input.getAxis mouse y multiplied by mouse sensitivity. Then mouse y is equal to mouse f.clamp mouse y negative 90 and 90. Then we're going to say transform.rotation is equal to Quaternion Euler or Euler, however they call it. And then we're going to say 0 mouse x 0. And then we're going to say neck bone, which we're going to grab the neck bone on our player, dot rotation is equal to Quaternion.Euler, and we're going to have it set to mouse y and mouse x. Okay? Very, very simple, very easy to get. So yeah. I don't believe we actually need this public transform player camera, but we're going to keep it there just because. So now let's take a look at this through here. So if I double click this head bone, you notice that we go right here to this head bone. So we're going to be adjusting this head bone whenever we are actually rotating our character. So let's go ahead and rotate down real fast and take a look inside the scene. So we're going to go ahead and check out our head bone right here. And if you notice, it's sitting actually on our head and it's not sitting on our camera, which is above our player's head. So we're adjusting the head to look in the direction that we want it to look without, one second, without having to affect our camera in any way. So this actually applies really well whenever you're working with, say for instance, an RPG and you're playing online and all. It works really well because people can actually see your head moving around and all, and it's pretty cool. Alright, I hope this helped you guys out, and if you have any questions, please comment inside the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you guys next time.